Okay, so we are going to sketch the graph of y equals 1 over 4, x take 2 squared, x plus 5. Now, because I have a squared and an x here, if I was to multiply those out, I would end up with a cubic. So what we're looking at is a cubic. Whenever we're sketching graphs, there's a few key features which we need to look for. We always need all intercepts, so any x-intercepts, y-intercepts, and of course the shape of our graph. Now usually we would try and find the turning point, but in this particular form here, right now we're not interested in the maximum and the minimums, we're just looking for the intercepts of the line with the axes at this stage, and obviously the shape. Alright, let's start by finding the x-intercept. Okay, so to find any x-intercept, I always let y equal 0. Okay, so 0 equals 1 over 4. X take 2 squared, x plus 5. Awesome, so bring over the 1 over 4. Well, anything, 0 divided by anything is still 0, equals x take 2 squared, x plus 5. Awesome. So, this is where we apply the null factor property. And I'm going to chop this equation in half. So, x plus 5 equals 0, but also x take 2 squared equals 0. Therefore, my x-intercept equals negative 5, because if I was to move this over here, it would become take 5. So this is my first solution. Okay. Now this one's a little bit, this one we need to think about. Whenever you have an x take 2 and we square it, what this means is it's not actually an intercept. It's actually a slide, or you might know that as a touch. So it's still at x equals 2, as per we would over here. However, it's not actually a cut. It's not an intercept. It's a touch or a slide. Okay, so we'll come back to that in a minute. Okay, these two features are important. So whenever we find our x-intercept, our next step is always to find our y-intercept. To find any y-intercept, we do the same thing. We let x equal 0. This works every single time. So y equals, let's have a look, 1 over 4, x take 2 squared, x plus 5. Okay, y equals 1 over 4, 0 take 2 squared, 0 plus 5. Y equals 1 over 4, 0 take 2 is negative 2, 0 plus 5 is 5. Y equals 1 over 4, well, negative 2 squared is negative 2 times negative 2, which is 4 times 5, which gives us 5 times 4, which is 20, times a quarter. Therefore, y equals 5 as a positive. Okay, also a key feature of the graph. Another thing we always need to determine is the shape. Now for a cubic, if I was to go x times x, because it's squared, times x, that's going to be positive. Now earlier in the lesson, you should have read that a positive ends going into the positive y-axis. So the end behavior of your graph, okay, is going to be positive, because the x's, if I was to multiply this out by FOIL and then times it by another x, it would end as positive. So a is greater than 0, so the end behavior is smiling. That's how I like to remember it. Last thing we need to do is we need to sketch it. Now obviously if you have a ruler, you would use a ruler. Okay? We always label our x and y intercepts. Okay? X, y, and we always plot and then label our significant points. So we had an intercept at -5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We put a dot and we always label it. -5, 0. So this is one feature here. Okay, we have a touch at x equals 2. 1, 2. So, because my end behavior is smiling like this, okay, I know that I'm going to have something like this. Okay, I'll come back to that one. 2, 0. Still need to plot my y-intercept, which is at +5. So again, I label that on my Cartesian plane. Okay, 0, 5. I connect this up. I always draw my arrows, okay? And I always finish off any sketch every single time with the original equation, which is y equals 1/4 x take 2 squared x plus 5. And you have now successfully sketched this cubic here.